So I had my second meeting with Dr. Bapat, and for this meeting, it was the Kshar Sutra treatment. It went very, very well. I was very surprised. Harpinder, if you're watching, I remember you telling me that you had no pain, and I'll be honest, I didn't believe you. But it's true. Well, for me anyway, there was really no pain for the procedure at all. It's pretty fun getting there because we don't have the proper app to get a taxi, so we had to talk to hotel staff, and we got a taxi driver that didn't speak English at all, and he got kind of lost looking for the clinic. And then on the way back, we actually got to ride in a rickshaw, so that was pretty interesting. So this is going to be, I guess, more of talking about perhaps things that are uncomfortable for people who might not want to hear about, I don't know, bowel movement stuff or keeping clean. So my appointment went well, and if you were a friend or, just somebody who's interested in hearing about my journey to India, I guess this would be the time to check out now if you don't want to hear about the more nitty-gritty detailed stuff, which I'm not going to go into too much depth. It wasn't that bad. With my appointment with the doctor, he told me that because of the medicated thread, the Kshar Sutra thread, whenever I have a bowel movement or whenever I use the washroom to pee, I have to use water and only water to clean the area, which is going to be interesting. As a Canadian, I'm used to using toilet paper. No toilet paper because that will stick to the thread. So just dry myself off with cotton or with a hair dryer or something like that. So that was pretty interesting. I absolutely loved, I guess, the whole experience. I loved speaking with him and with his wife. It's interesting because any Canadian surgeon or doctor that I've talked to, you kind of have like about 10 minutes to get in, get any questions that you have asked really quickly, and then get out. It wasn't that way with Dr. Bapat at all. It was, we were able to sit there and ask any questions that we had or discuss, kind of like philosophies on the difference between the medical system here or how he practices medicine versus how a typical North American doctor practices medicine. So I really enjoyed that conversation. And he suggested a few changes, which I wholeheartedly agree with. So while I'm undergoing the treatment, no meat, no soda, no pop. Try to stick to a vegetarian diet, no spicy foods. So I'd already tried to make changes to my diet in the first place, so it was just kind of confirming what I already thought, which is that your diet will affect your bowel health. So that was wonderful, and I loved the fact that he talked about the importance of the mind-body connection. So making sure that he's treating the entire patient, not just somebody who has a fistula and he treats the fistula and that's it. He sends them out the door. He makes a really big effort to make people feel welcome and like family and relaxed. So you feel like, or at least I felt like I was treated like a person, which is wonderful because pretty much every Canadian doctor I've spoken to or had to deal with about this fistula issue, I felt like a number, a file on their desk, that they, like almost like a nuisance, and they wanted to get rid of me as soon as they could. And with Dr. Bapat and his wife, I felt like we could sit there and chat with them for hours. So I haven't really felt that welcomed or well treated by a doctor ever since this fistula journey started. So that was wonderful. So my prescription now is to walk as much as I can. He said at least, I think, 2 kilometers a day, which is not a whole lot at all. So I'll do that, and as I walk, the thread will cut through the area. He's saying at about a rate of 1 centimeter a week. He's guessing it'll take a month for the thread to cut through my fistula, the whole tract, and then I will have to stay for another week for him to evaluate how the wound is healing. And after that, I can go off home. So I'm definitely really hopeful. There was really no pain at all. When he sprayed the area, that was the freezing. I kind of expected that I would get a needle and be given a local anesthetic that way, but that wasn't it. It was just a spray. And that did burn. I'd say on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the worst pain you've ever experienced and 1 being really not all that much. It was about, I guess, a 3. So, yeah, and that only lasted for about 2 minutes. The whole procedure took about, I would say, no more than 10 minutes. I had a aceton in already, so it was easier, I think, for him to find the fistula and trace the track. So I think that helped, but it couldn't have taken more than 10 minutes. I felt it burned at first when he sprayed the freezing on, then I didn't feel much of anything except a little bit of a tug. And that was it. Before I knew it, he said, we're done. And I just got up and I went to his office and we talked about aftercare, so that was great. So I had that, I don't know, about 2 or 3 hours ago now. I'm still not feeling any pain. It's starting to feel a bit itchy, but that's about it. So I'm hopeful that it will continue not feeling too painful. But if it does, honestly, I really don't care as long as it fixes the fistula and the thing never comes back and I can get my life back. So yeah, that was my first experience with Kshar Sutra, first treatment. I go back next week and he'll remove the old thread and put in a new thread, and I'll just keep walking and we'll just keep doing that until the tract has been pulled through all the way. Another thing that he talked about, which I thought was great, is that in North American, I guess, medicine, when it comes to fistulas, what doctors tend to want to do is just cut out the unhealthy tissue and send you home, but they don't really give you anything to help promote healthy tissue growth. And that's one of the things that the Kshar Sutra thread does. And of course also the changes that he suggested as far as eating a vegetarian diet is to get rid of the old infected tissue, but also promote healthy tissue growth, which of course is important. It's good to cut out the infection, but if you don't promote healthy tissue growth, then you're just going to have a recurring problem over and over again. So that is another one of the benefits of Kshar Sutra. And another great thing about visiting him once a week is that if he sees any bad tissue growing, he's able to just kind of scrape it away, or I guess whatever the doctor will do to get rid of that unhealthy tissue so that good tissue can grow. So yeah, that was my first experience with the doctor's Kshar Sutra treatment. I think that's all I have to say, so talk to you in a few days.